Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today's layout is for the Cut Shop, and I'm going to be using one cut file, and this is called the Right On Alpha. And before I even get my pictures or my cut file involved, I'm going to jazz up my background. And I'm just going to start with this light teal colored piece of cardstock, and I'm going to be using the entire space of it. And so I didn't want to completely cover up the teal, but I wanted to cover a lot of it with this white gesso because I'm going to be adding a lot of mixed media elements to it. And so I wanted to prep my picture. Now this is some shimmer spray. It's colorings, and it's really pretty teal, so it's a little bit darker than the cardstock. And so I'm just using the tried and true plastic packaging technique that everyone loves so much, and I'm just getting some watercolor effect going on the background. And as you can see, this is, anybody could do this. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just spray it on the plastic, smudge it down, and then you can add splatters like this. It just depends on the look you're going for. But I'm going to use a lot of the space today once I get to the cut file here. But I knew ahead of time what I was going to do, and so I wanted to go ahead and get the background done. And I'm going to be using the three colors that I tend to go towards usually, which is teal, yellow, and pink. And so this is some of my Heidi Swap Color Shine in Butter. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just trying not to blend the two colors. So I'm kind of smudging the yellow where there's not much teal, so it's kind of spread around. And then I'm going to dab it up and make sure it's dry in between each new color. Now this is just one of my pink gelatos that I use a lot, one of my favorite standard shades of pink that I use on a lot of my pages. And now I'm just going to use my water brush here because I wanted to add in little pink areas here and there, and not on top as much, not on top as, okay, can I say that again without stuttering? I don't want the pink to be on top of the teal as much, and so I'm just going to control that by using the water brush and kind of fill in some of the open areas. There, I said it, yay me. And that's a good thing about the water brush is you can control how much water you squeeze out of it, and it's got that little tip on the end, and so it's really good for getting into small areas exactly where you want it. Whereas the packaging technique, you know, it's going to kind of go wherever you smush it down, and plus it's going to use more liquid. I hope that made sense. Sorry for getting all tongue-tied there. So this is another one of the Shimmers products, and it's a darker pink color, and it looks really dark now, but once you dab it up and it dries, it's not going to be that dark. Alright, so I've got my background pretty much finished. So I've got some flat color, some sparkly things going on. And this is the picture that I'm going to be using, and my quote that I'm going to use is going to take up the entire page, and it's going to match my picture perfectly. So I wanted to use an alpha set, and I had a bunch of different pattern paper scraps left over from some of my hip kits, and most of these papers are crate paper with a little bit of American Crafts thrown in there. And my quote I found on Pinterest. Sometimes I just feel like, you know, doing something different, and so Pinterest is a great way to get inspiration and ideas, and definitely quotes. So this quote says, "And at the end of the day, your feet should be dirty, your hair messy, and your eyes sparkling." And so it did take me some time to trace each of the letters from the cut file and decide which papers would go with which letter, and you know, I had to cut all of them, but it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, and I knew right away that the quote was going to be long and it was going to take up all of the space. And so the good thing about that is the majority of the page is done, and so I'm going to have that little area that's in the upper right hand corner free for my picture. So the layout is going to pretty much put itself together at this point. So I'm going to take some time and glue all of that down, and once it dried, I went through each line with my sewing machine with some white thread, so everything is stitched down and it's not going to come up. And I love how this alpha set is kind of wonky and not perfectly straight. I love that. So I'm going to take some layers and put them behind my picture. And most of it is just paper that I cut these letters on. Teal, pink, and yellow. I'm going to make little layers behind there. And this is a great technique to do if you have a bunch of little scraps that you want to use up. It worked really well on my cameo. Like I said, it did take some time, but oh yeah, I ran out of tape there, so I had to reload my ATG gun. It did take some time, but I think it's worth it because I absolutely love how all those letters look together. So I wanted to pop the darker pink color up there next to the picture, and so I used some thread. And then this chipboard sheet, I believe this was from the March hip kit from 2015. I still had several things left over, and so I just said, you know what, I'm going to make this work. And that's what I had left of that crepe paper. I think that's Craft Market chipboard sheet, and so it just worked out perfectly where I had just the right pieces left over. And I didn't feel like I needed to do too much embellishing because I didn't want to take away from the quote and all those pretty pattern papers, and I didn't want to cover up any of those words. So I went minimal on everything else. I did add that chipboard flower cluster to the right of the photo, and then I'm going to come in with some of these cork hearts and a couple of the wood veneer hearts, and I don't do too much more because I think it looks fine the way it is. I do add some foam adhesive to the back of the picture. Since it's on top of that chipboard, I wanted the rest of the picture to be kind of raised up, and I like how that turned out. Yeah, so sometimes you only need one cut file to make a really big design. I don't know, I think I was channeling my inner Paige Evans. I know she's done this type of layout before and just love how it turned out. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to see if I could do something like that with one of Ashley's cut files. And she has several different alphas available in the Cut Shop, and so you could try this with any of the alphas, and you could do this with any quote. It could be a small quote, it could be a long one like this. It just depends on what you're wanting to create and what look you're going for. So this is from American Crafts. That is the, I believe, the Rise and Shine sticker sheet, and I just pulled that little clear sticker. It's a little, I think it's black or a dark charcoal gray arrow. And these are from the Carpe Diem Simple Stories collection. And I'm going to take all these hearts and just add them to the center of some of the letters, the O's, the A's, just to give little details. And the colors match perfectly. I couldn't have planned that better if I had tried. Sometimes things just fall together, and this was one of those layouts that just sort of came together really easily once I had the letters cut. So I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else that I wanted to add, and I am going to do my journaling, and I'm going to use my ruler because I didn't want it to be crooked because I am great at writing downhill, and so those lines help me out here. And okay, look at me chewing gum. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot to spit out my gum. Wow, I'm really going to town there. Sorry about that. That's distracting. Anyway, I'm having to use just a regular ink pen because my favorite Sharpie dried up and I have not gotten to the store to get any more. So I had to make the good old regular ink pen work, and it's fine. So that is Heidi Swapp Color Shine and Tinsel, and that's going to be the last thing that I do, I believe. I'm going to add the date, and I believe that's going to be it. Yeah, this was really fun to put together. It was something different. Like I said, check out all the different alphas that Ashley has available in the Cut Shop on Etsy, and you'd be surprised at what you could do with just one cut file. So there's the final page. I really love how it turned out. I think this is one of my favorite pages that I've made in a long time. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know if you had any questions about anything that I did, or any of the products that I used. I hope you give this technique a try. Definitely check out all the cut files available. Every other week, Ashley designs new ones for the shop. So I will see you guys around. See you next time. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.